So if you're an entrepreneur, you know this challenge. It's the one you face every single day. How do you get customers to choose you? I mean, in a marketplace that's just flooded with competition, how do you make your offer the one they feel like they just can't refuse? Well, today we're going to dive deep into Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers to break down his framework for doing exactly that.
You know, Jeff Bezos just perfectly captures this huge truth about business. Think about it. In baseball, the absolute best you can do is a grand slam, right? That's 4 runs. But business plays by a whole different set of rules. A single bold move, one perfectly crafted offer, can bring in a 1,000-run return. It can literally pay for all your past failures and set you up for the future. And that's the power of what Hormozi calls a grand slam offer.
But before we can even think about hitting a grand slam, we have to understand the #1 threat that keeps most businesses from ever really getting in the game. It's something called the commodity trap. This right here, this is where most businesses go to die a slow, painful death. It's when a customer looks at your thing and then looks at your competitor's thing and just thinks, they're basically the same. So what becomes the deciding factor? Price. And that just kicks off this brutal, soul-crushing race to the bottom that nobody ever really wins. And if you look at the numbers, they tell a pretty brutal story. See that commodity column? You're spending 10 grand on ads just to get 5,000 back up front. That's a 0.5 to 1 return on your ad spend. You are literally paying to get customers in the door. Yeah, you might break even a month down the line, but you're perpetually stuck with zero cash to actually grow the business.
And that's the painful reality of being stuck in that commodity trap. You're working around the clock, just grinding away, but your margins get so thin they practically disappear. The business ends up owning you, not the other way around. That dream of freedom you had, it becomes a prison of razor-thin profits. There has to be a better way.
And you know what? There is. The escape route, the way out of that trap, is what this entire framework is about. It's the Grand Slam offer. Now, this isn't about being just a little bit better or a tiny bit cheaper. A Grand Slam offer is fundamentally different. It's engineered to be so unique and so valuable that it just erases all comparison from the customer's mind. You're no longer one apple being compared to a bunch of other apples. You're something else entirely. This completely reframes the choice for your customer. They're no longer thinking, should I buy from company A or company B? Instead, the question in their mind becomes, should I take this incredible, one-of-a-kind opportunity to solve my problem, or should I just do nothing? And when you get them to that point, you gain complete pricing power. Okay, so how in the world do you actually build an offer that powerful? Well, it's not magic. It's a formula. And it all boils down to understanding and really manipulating one core idea, the value equation. This is it. This is the key question, right? We know we need to create so much value that the price just becomes an afterthought for the customer. But what? What are the actual ingredients of value?
And here it is. This is the blueprint. This is the value equation. See, on the top half, you have the things you want to crank up, the customer's dream outcome and their perceived likelihood of achievement. And on the bottom, you have the things you need to crush, the time delay to get the result, and all the effort and sacrifice they have to put in.
So let's break down that top part. First, the dream outcome. You have to get crystal clear on what that perfect after state looks like in their imagination. Then, you have to ramp up their belief, their absolute certainty that your offer is the one true vehicle that's going to get them there. The more certain they feel, the more valuable the whole thing becomes.
Now for the bottom half. And this is where the biggest companies in the world just dominate. Your job is to shrink the time delay, how long they have to wait for that payoff, and the effort and sacrifice, how hard it is for them. Just think about Amazon's one-click buy and next-day delivery. They are absolute masters of crushing this side of the equation, which makes the value of their offer just skyrocket.
Okay, so once you've built your core offer using that value equation, there's one last step. We have to enhance it. This is where we bring in some powerful psychological triggers to make that offer truly, truly irresistible. You know, at its core, all marketing is really just about influencing this classic curve. We want to jack up demand while making the supply seem lower, and the tactics we're about to cover, they are designed to do exactly that, to shift that demand curve so far to the right that you can charge a premium and still have a line of people waiting to buy.
First up is scarcity. This is all about limiting the quantity. Whether you've only got 50 spots available or it's a limited edition product, that fear of missing out is a massive motivator. We just inherently want things that are rare and hard to get.
Next up, urgency. Now, this isn't about how many are available, this is about time. When you set a hard deadline, this offer ends Friday at midnight. You force a decision. It completely vaporizes procrastination, because if they wait, the opportunity is gone forever.
This one is huge. Instead of ever dropping your price, you're dramatically increase the perceived value by just stacking on bonuses. You anchor the price to your main offer, and then you just keep adding so much extra value on top that the customer feels like they are getting an absolute steal. That price-to-value gap becomes way too big to ignore.
And finally, maybe the most powerful enhancer of all, the guarantee. For any customer, the single biggest fear is risk. What if this doesn't work for me? A really strong guarantee reverses that risk completely, placing it all on the business. When the customer literally cannot lose, well, the decision to buy becomes incredibly easy.
So let's put it all together. You escape that commodity trap by building a Grand Slam offer using the value equation. Then you supercharge it with scarcity, urgency, bonuses, and guarantees. Which leaves us with this one last pretty powerful question to think about. When you exist in a category of one, when your offer literally can't be compared to anything else, what are you free to charge? The old rules just don't apply anymore. You're free.